Today's video is about wood and doing the right thing. So I was in the woodyard working and this fella pulled in. I'd never seen him before. I didn't know why he was there, and he came up. He says, "Are you the firewood guy?" And I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Is this your woodyard?" I said, "Yes, it is." He says, "Well, I was told to deliver you some wood." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, we're working on a pipeline and it's coming in, and I was told this was the address and you're the guy." And I said, "Well, it is my woodyard. I do firewood, and what's the deal?" He says, "Well, we're just looking for a place to get rid of it, and we need to put it somewhere, so it's yours." I said, "Like free?" He said, "Yep." I said, "Well, my belief is nothing in life is free." So I went and I got him some money. I gave him money. Now he's being paid just to truck this wood and get rid of it for the company that was doing the clearing. And I believe that I don't really like getting stuff for free, because if you get it for free, it generally means you either owe somebody something or a favor, or you got to show your appreciation in some way. So I gave him $100 a load, and it was well worth it. It's a triaxle load, so there was, I don't know, 7 full cords, something like that on each load, and I think he brought me 4 or 5 loads, and it's a mix of everything. There's everything in here. There's some white oak, there's some black oak, there's some red oak, there was some aspen, there was box elder, there was hickory, there was, let's see, what else did I see in there? Maple. There was some maple. There was some pine, white pine. There was some spruce. I saw a stick or two of cedar. I mean, it was everything. It's just a mix of stuff, but it'll be good campfire wood. Anyway, he says they're gonna bring me a bunch more, and I said, "Okay, that's fine with me." And so he brought me a bunch of wood, and every time he came, I gave him money because it was well worth it. I believe that you got to do people favors and grease the wheels and basically do the right thing, and this guy was very happy to get paid. He said no one else has ever paid him anything for wood that he delivered. And I said, "Well," I said, "I'm the guy that's going to pay." He says, "You're the man." I said, "Well, I don't know about that. I'm just a man." But I greatly appreciated it. Whenever I go to any of the trade shows or anything in the industry, and people are handing out free stuff, I usually don't grab it. I mean, if there's a pen I can use or something, maybe, but I don't know. I'm not a person to just fill my pockets full of free stuff. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't know what the big deal is. It's free." Well, I don't believe anything in life is free, and I think you got to pay back what you get. That's just me. I could be weird, but that's the way I am. So when my truck drivers come with a load of wood from a logging job, even though I'm paying for the wood, I always pay my truck drivers some money. I either gave them, a lot of times I gave them $20, $40. Sometimes I'll give them some beef jerky from the jerky guy that I get it from. I'll give them a couple packages of those. I always have those in my truck. The last couple times my guy came from the regular delivery guy, I gave him some maple syrup. I gave him a big jug of that. He was very happy. So I like to make the people appreciate coming to me, and I know they're going to do a better job if I show them appreciation. It's just the way it is. Now, if you're the kind of person that doesn't ever do that, well, good luck with that. People are going to tend to avoid you. I think you need to do the right thing and reward the people that help you. So that's just me. Some of you might totally disagree. You're okay to do that, but I believe in paying people what they deserve, or at least thanking them in a way other than saying thanks. Money works, it just does. I've given lots of things away over the years to people that have helped me. I don't believe in hoarding everything for myself. I believe in sharing as much as possible, and that comes down to this channel too. I believe in sharing with you guys all the things that I have discovered, learned, experienced, and I think if we do that with each other, if we share knowledge, share gifts, share talents, and do a proper exchange of services and goods for money or things. Everybody wins, everybody's happy. So anyway, you're gonna watch the rest of this video hopefully, and this guy's a pretty good operator. I didn't show you everything, I kind of edited a lot of stuff out, but he did a lot of fixing of these logs as he was loading. He was smacking the ends a little bit with his bucket, trying to even it out as much as possible. There was a few big pieces that he chucked out of the way, and yeah, so pretty cool. Enjoy.